Namaste. Welcome to Flavourful Eats. I'm your host Hamsha Naidu. Joining me today is Jasoda Kuga Balasurya. She is originally from Sri Lanka, and we're doing 3 dishes today: an eggplant dish, a pal dish, which is milk dish, and a stir fry. Very simple dishes, and with that we'll get started. Very interestingly, you're using a air fryer instead of deep frying. Slice it really fine, and then in that she's going to be adding a little bit of oil and putting it in this air fryer. And that actually is done in 20 minutes. So we put our air fryer on, right? Ready for use?
It'll be on as soon as I put it.
And then to that, you add salt to that?
No.
No salt.
So we can actually add a little bit of oil.
So
put this in. That's the air fryer. We put this into the tray,
and then a little more there. Okay.
And add the oil. And there it is. It's starting.
Okay, you put it for about 15 minutes. It's a small quantity.
Yeah.
It depends on the quantity, and you check it in between, correct?
You can check it in between, but you need to shut it off before you check it.
Okay. Yes, and then it's like one of the better things that's been invented recently, right? The air fryer.
Yeah, so we already have the eggplant that's cooked.
Right.
And I brought some that actually already fried. So this is how the eggplant will look once it's fried. And now we're going to start how to put together the curry. The ingredients are chili powder, fenugreek, onions, green chilies, and curry leaves. And this is a very important ingredient for that, which is tamarind juice. And I have brought the tamarind that I usually use. This is fresh cut tamarind. You have to soak it in water, sometimes longer time, because it can be just hard. And then it'll become like this, and then you squeeze it and strain it.
So did you put hot water or you put regular water?
You can put hot water, but because it stayed overnight, I just put normal water in. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can strain it so that it becomes tamarind juice.
You want to show your hands also how they do it in the olden days without the strainer?
Oh, without the strainer, you could actually
just take it like that.
And you can squeeze it. The only reason for straining is because back when we were there, they don't usually cut all the fiber into this. And nowadays it comes with the fiber.
Yes, so it used to be a little bit more smooth.
More smooth, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, people can use the
you can also use concentrate, tamarind concentrate that comes in bottles.
Right. So the characteristic of a tamarind is a little bit tart, a little bit sweet, a little bit of everything, and it also helps to preserve, correct? Helps you to preserve your dish for a longer time.
Yeah.
And adds, of course, a very, very good taste.
It gives this a very special and unique taste to it.
Yes, very unique taste to it, yes. So that is how the tamarind is done, ready for our preparation in a little while. So shall we put the stove on? Ready?
Yeah, we can put the stove on.
And you go there.
And we add a little bit of oil, which is 1 tablespoon or a little bit more than that. Once it is warm enough, we add the fenugreek in.
So make sure that the oil is hot before you add the fenugreek.
So the fenugreek cooks a little bit.
Right.
And then you add the onion inside.
So yes, this is an induction stove, so can you see it's hot already?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a tablespoon of fenugreek?
Yeah. And this fenugreek is the most important ingredient other than the tamarind for this curry.
Well, you actually call it Vendeya Colombo?
Vendeya Colombo, which is actually the fenugreek is the ingredient for it.
To that you just add in the onions.
And I'm going to add the onions, green chilies, so that they get stir fried a little.
And this you'll add later, right? The curry leaves.
Yeah, curry leaf at the end. So we want the onions to become glassy, like half cooked, not really fried to the dried level.
And it gets close. It's true to the temperature.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, you want to prepare, while you're waiting on both the things, you want to prepare your next dish?
Sure.
So our next dish is pal curry, you said.
It's like a vegetables cooked in milk. Usually we would use this as a second dish in cooking, so that if there is a baby in the house, you can give the baby this curry because
Less chili.
less chili and less hot, and it's just with milk, and there's no spices like chili powder and things like that.
Right.
So we would really use this as a curry for the kids because all the boiled vegetables are good for them.
Yeah, well, it's good
And
for all of us.
it's in a consistency you could even give it to the kid to just like a toddler can bite into it.
Right. And it's also somebody that's sick. It'll be very useful for somebody that's sick
Yeah,
also.
its digestion is easy.
Yes, it's very good to digest.
So now this is good. The onions are 3/4 fried. We don't want to fry it too much. We don't want that onion caramel taste.
Caramelized.
Yeah, we actually are going to add the eggplant and the tamarind, a little bit of water.
A little bit of water.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should always keep a little bit of water. And we're going to add the chili powder for the reason the chili has to be cooked in this so that it doesn't give that raw chili taste. Adding, you can add chili powder according to your spice level.
So
I'm adding a little
you need your
because I'm not really sure people can eat so much with the green chilies in there. So
you have the green chilies
and the chili powder.
Chili
So
powder, they all give the flavor.
the only thing is when you add tamarind, it reduces the hots and spice.
Yes, it does.
And if you add coconut milk, it further reduces the spice.
That is true, and also salt.
Salt. So for that, you have to compensate the chili.
Right. Here's a little spoon for your...
You want us to
Okay.
check this?
Yes, please do.
So this is how it'll look. If you didn't add a little more oil, will make it
You
like
wanna
how
bring
it
You
came
want to bring it
out.
closer here?
So this is how it'll look.
So you did not add oil in this
Too
lot?
much oil in it. Like you could add a tiny bit more oil, it'll come out as fried. This looks a little dried.
Okay, so it looks
Yeah.
like more like dehydrated.
Dehydrated,
But it
yeah.
could still be used because it's going
We
to
can use it in here.
It's going to going to absorb all the nice nutrients from
Yeah.
there.
So we can actually use this. So you have to be careful because this plate comes out. So you want to
okay.
hold it and put it in. I air fry a lot of these vegetables that could be just eaten like a snack.
Yes. Can see that, all right. Maybe this is too high.
Yeah, now we can add a little bit of water first and the coconut milk. Salt. I forgot the salt.
So you don't put salt in before frying when you're frying the
No,
eggplant, okay.
The only thing is you want this simmer.
You want a tablespoon, teaspoon?
There's a tablespoon there.
There you go.
Thank you. So you add the milk, and if it is too thick, you can add
more
water. But it is a curry that comes out a little bit thicker. But to cook, we need to add water. And also, if you deep fry this eggplant, you don't need this much of water.
That's what I was going to ask, if you deep fried it, which is the traditional way of doing it, right? You deep fry it.
Then you don't need this much because that oil will come out. But when you air fry it, you might have to add more water because it's now rehydrating.
Right. And we can actually see now the quantity of
the curry,
the liquid to the actual eggplant.
But the eggplant actually, when you air fry it or even deep fry it, the quantity becomes less. So if you want a large amount of curry, you need to cut a lot of eggplant to fry, because that's the normal.
Right.
So while we are waiting for it to simmer, we're going to start the second preparation.
Okay.
So the second preparation doesn't have too much oil in it. That's the beauty of it. That's part of the reason we give it to the babies.
Yes, you did say so.
Yeah. So all we do is we put green chilies, onions. Green chili also, if you're giving it to a toddler, you really don't want to add too much.
Too much of green
but
chilies.
If the adults are eating, it's fine.
But my grandson will say, you need to go to a certain store and buy the jalapeno. That's
Yeah.
how he says it. That will is not too chilly. That's what he tells me.
But that's hot.
Okay, so now for this dish, it's very simple, right? You
It's
just
very
have
simple.
You just have some turmeric,
We
some
have
mustard seeds.
Yeah, turmeric, mustard seeds. Actually, mustard seed at the end.
At the end.
We're going to grind cumin seed with coconut.
Okay. I think we have okay, you're putting the cumin seeds already to grind.
Yeah, and this
Okay.
together.
So
I don't usually use the dry grinder, but it's for convenience I'm using it. But it's good to use. You can use this in a blender, so you have a little bit more water
to work with.
Yeah.
We now have finished the one dish, and we're now starting the second dish.
Second dish.
Which is the pal curry.
Pal curry.
Pal means milk.
Milk.
So milk here in this instance is coconut milk.
Yeah. If anybody is interested in adding garlic, you could, but the garlic, because it's not something that we stir fry, will give that garlic smell.
Very much the garlic smell. But in winter, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody is not feeling too well or anything.
Yeah, you can add garlic.
And if you don't have fresh coconut, can you use desiccated coconut? Dry
You can do desiccated, or
coconut, I think
you could also use coconut cream at the end after these things boil.
Yes.
So we're going to first boil these in the pot.
In this pot
Everything goes in to boil.
Okay, for convenience sake, I'm just going to swap the pots. That one cooks there and that one cooks there.
You want to put that slow, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one's there.
So here we need water.
Yes, there you go, water. We need more water than this, correct?
So you want enough water for all the vegetables to cook.
Can you do that? Thank you.
And we can add onions, green chilies, ginger. Ginger, I have stripped them like this.
So you're adding it to the cold water?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't
Everything
have to
will
boil?
eventually, no, everything will eventually get cooked.
Right.
I'm adding carrots. The key to this cooking is all the vegetables should be pretty much the same size.
Uniform size.
Yeah, so that they cook together at the same time. So I have carrots, green beans, fresh, and then zucchini. Should I put half of it?
You can put it all. It all
Get mushy.
I mean, gets.
And then potatoes and eggplant. You can add eggplant halfway through because that's something that cooks faster.
Very much quicker.
And if you add eggplant, you always have to close the dish because eggplant can otherwise become black.
All right. And also to avoid the blackness, if you cut it, you add some salt in the water.
Yeah, just put the, we
More
can add
water?
the salt.
Do you need more water?
Yeah, a little bit more water. Yes, it looks
You
like
tell me
it.
when to stop.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. We can look at that. Look at that.
Okay.
So, and a little bit of turmeric. That's very important for this dish. This is the one that flavors this dish.
Okay, so this is now
The
our
third dish,
dish.
which is chopped kale as a stir fry. This is kale, chopped not too fine, but fine enough so you can have it, you can eat the palatable size. So you can see this.
Easy to pick up with your fork.
Yeah, it's just easy. And I have here chopped green chilies, onions. This is red onions. I had used white onions for the other dish. This is red onions, and this is a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit more stronger than the white onions, and I have curry leaves chopped.
You want to have a look at this eggplant? To me, it looks like it's done. I don't know.
It's done, yeah.
So now you
So
just
because it's already cooked food, like already fried eggplant, fried everything, tiny bit, and then leave it to simmer. We can add curry leaves. I usually tear the curry leaves. People say cutting doesn't give that flavor. It's just a fork belief, I suppose.
I try to cut it as fine as possible because I love
And
the
then
good taste.
when everything is done, we sprinkle a little bit of roasted fennel, and then just close the dish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It really smells good.
And then just close it.
Let's close it. That's ready. So this is now ready.
So here we're going to add a tiny bit of oil, not too much, and then mustard seeds. We want this burst, so usually you want to cover it because it'll burst all over the place.
There you go. There you go.
You can hear that popping.
And it's popping all over the studio.
We can add the curry leaves a few so they can also pop. And then the onions. I will add that curry leaves at the end.
At the end.
There are people who don't like coconut sometimes, so those people don't have to add. It can just be a stir fry without coconut. So we fry the onions. Again, it becomes 3/4 fried, not too fried. I usually don't like to overcook any of the vegetable, anything.
It's not good to overcook. You lose all your nutrients anyway.
So I 3/4 fry the onions, sometimes even half fry, because onions is good to bite into with the food.
That may be way too low now. See, that's what I'm saying. It's so precise to the T. So you're going to look at this one here, what's happening? You need to mix it or anything?
A little bit more heat.
More heat? Yeah,
Tiny
okay.
bit more.
It's boiling there. Can you see it boiling?
We're going to mix this so that all the vegetable gets the heat equally. Looks pretty.
Yes, for these things you can use the rainbow colors and you'll get really good. I'm sure can you put peppers in there?
We can put a red
pepper,
pepper, yeah, green
and then
pepper.
that adds even more nutrition.
Vibrant.
And vibrant,
Yeah.
yes. So you can see she likes to chill when she's cooking, having her hands nice and folded. But we have a very healthy meal right here. And if you wanted to add a little bit more protein in this little thing here, you could add like urad dal or gram dal or something. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's
in the
true.
beginning.
Yes. You can add dal, or at the end, if you are a tofu eater, you can bake the tofu, chop it in small pieces, and then add it to it.
The tofu. But within all of this, it has its own protein too, but it's not.
That's the problem. That I do use dal to stir fry, but today it didn't come in my mind. But
and we also they sell roasted chana dal or chickpeas. So you can even grind that and add it in too. You can thicken your gravy as well.
So as all of us know that these leaves will become nothing when it gets cooked a little bit. So we can use any amount for this. And you can chop this up and put it in the refrigerator the day before. So when
now
the
everything
guests
is sold frozen also for convenience. If you want to do that, you can do that too.
And I'm a big fan of fresh food. So very rarely I buy frozen or the cooked food.
Pre-cooked
I always say to people, my garbage is less because all the vegetable refuse go into compost. So I actually don't have much of a garbage. other than what we just throw away from papers, or the papers go into recycle too.
Not
So we
watching.
are going to add salt to both of them, and
You add it to the
salt to taste. I'm a very low salt person, but also the vegetables, the leafy vegetables have salt in it. So, but you know, there are people who eat a lot of salt. There are people who
You
don't
may want
eat.
to taste this to see whether you put salt.
I didn't put salt, so I
Okay.
just put it.
Okay.
Just put it.
It like looks almost cooked anyway.
Yeah.
Just a check on the potato.
Potato got cooked. This is okay, right? Zucchini.
Yes, that's fine.
So this looks a little watery, but when you put your ground stuff,
Yes, it's going to be
it
thick.
just become thick. And you can simmer it if you want.
So you no need for water, right? You're all done with water.
So I'm going to add this coconut cumin seed mix that I grounded. It's not going to come out. Let's use the spoon. So this is pretty much a dry grinder. You could use wet, but grinder might not last long.
Yes.
But people do use. Or you can actually stir fry, roast the coconut a little bit and then fry it. That'll give flavor too.
Yes.
Looks so pretty. The color, color looks so
It's nice and vibrant. So that's still stir frying.
a tiny bit more. We
So
want the water to go a little bit. That's
so
all.
in the summer you can eat this as a salad. In the winter you eat it as
Stir fry.
fry.
Yeah.
When it, but also when herbs are cooked, greens are cooked, it gives you different nutritional
Value than when they are not cooked.
Yes,
yeah.
because I was told. For
I'm going to
instance,
add a little bit of coconut now that we have coconut.
I was told
And
that
you also can add spices like chili powder if you want hot. But I have already added green chili, so I wouldn't add it. Let's simmer
want a
down
little
a
bit-
little bit. And just before we take this out, we can add this curry leaves, and they can get stir fried in there.
so you're ready to plate.
Be ready to plate. Once everything is ready, this cooking is fast. The eggplant will take about 15 to 20 minutes for you to stir fry. If it is a larger batch, it will even take longer.
Yes, you got to
The-
keep checking to see for the amount of time needed.
So once you get used to what the size of the eggplant that you cut, how much time it takes for it to go into the air fryer, then you will have an idea. Like yesterday, I didn't have to open too many times. I had an idea.
Right.
This
'Cause you've
will
been-
only take about 20-25 minutes. So
Okay.
when it comes to serving,
There you go. It's all there.
can we just put it on warm now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to serve.
So we cooked the
food.
rice earlier on. We just put 2 cups of rice here with 4 cups of water, just in case somebody has a bigger appetite for rice. And that's the eggplant, Vendaya korumbu. Oh man, the smell is just amazing. And that's the very vibrant pal curry.
So before you serve this curry, you want to mix that the fennel that you add into the curry.
See, that looks just so delicious. I can put this off, right?
Yeah. So the kale is good to eat raw as well as stir fried. Raw in salads and stir fried in cooking. So this is our served plate.
Okay.
If you ask me, I'm somebody who needs a crunchy consistency in here. I would either add chips or banana chips or potato chips or
banana chips
papadum.
is Sri Lankan, right?
Yeah.
Or even regular chips?
Regular chips, potato chips, everything without salt for me. Nowadays they have chips without salt.
Oh, you have a...
Yeah, no salt chips.
Oh, okay. That's
Everything.
good to
Banana
know.
chips, they have no salt. They have potato chips without salt. And you can also have papads, which is an Indian wafers that you could get in Indian stores.
It's called lentil chips. Did you not see that?
The lentil chips.
Yes. So this is our meal. This is how it's served. And as you can tell, it's quite colorful.
Colorful, and we eat a lot of curry with a little rice, which is my style. But there are people who eat a lot of rice with little curry.
Well, traditionally that's how it used to be, but because a lot of people used to work outside, so they needed that energy and the starch for. But now everybody's got more sedentary work, so you probably just eat a little bit of rice and more of the vegetable.
The eggplant curry can go with crusty baguettes or French bread. If it could go very well with it. I love it. And then this can go with it too.
And this can be eaten
with
plain,
naan, chapati,
just like a soup, like somebody would eat a soup that's a very chunky soup.
Yeah.
And so.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, chunky soup. Yeah.
And Jessa, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome, and I'm so glad that you gave me an opportunity to fly back into my, past
tradition
and look.
Yes, and I was hoping to talk through you and get all those childhood, how nostalgic.
So in the past, we didn't do this, bought any of these vegetables from a grocery store. We went to a market. Like today, everybody wants to go to a farmer's market to get, and for us, it was the place that you could buy. There wasn't any grocery store growing up. My mother will walk first thing in the morning, quite a distance to the market, pick up the vegetable and come. By the time it's 10 o'clock, she has already gone to the market and come. So it's just.
And then, no recipes were used then. Whatever was available in the market, you come home and you use that, and that's what you cook and you serve your family. And it's fresh as ever. And one of the things is, a long, long time ago, there was no refrigerators.
Yeah.
So one of the ways to save all of this was the tamarind and all of that.
Tamarind, salt. The vegetables can be salted and dried or pickled, so that you can have pickled vegetables.
And your days, you probably would have had a lot of fermented food too?
Some fermented food, but most of the time, I also want to mention that we didn't get coconut in a can or coconut milk in a can or coconut in a bag in a freezer. So we have to grate the coconut, get up in the morning, break the coconut, grate the coconut, squeeze different type of milk. The first milk is thick, is the cream that we use. And then the second milk is a little bit diluted, and the third milk. So instead of boiling this in water, my mother will boil that in the third milk.
Oh, okay, coconut milk.
And then when it is all ready, she'll add that coconut paste and a tiny bit of the first milk, because it tastes so good.
Oh yes, it will definitely be amazing, that's for sure. So yes, thank you again, very, very much, from Jessa Cougar and Hamsha Naidu, your host. Till we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.